Listen, the key thing you need to realize is the world is not going to shit because they can press a button, print money, and kick the can down the road. That's what's going to happen. The doom and gloom boomers, the happy hippies, etc., are going to start telling you today that the world is coming to an end. The world is not coming to an end here. This is a broad market sell-off. This is nothing more than that. It may take a week, may take 2 weeks, may take 3 weeks to rebound. But overall, this is a completely expected August, right? If you look at the history of Bitcoin's performance, August is not the best month. September is a better month. October is, you know, the favored month of the year. And right now, doom and gloom boomers are having the time of their life. I can imagine Peter Schiff dancing, tap dancing on the shores of Puerto Rico right now with what's going on. Right, forget this doom and gloom boom bullshit. The good news for you is Uncle Bullish is here, okay? And Uncle Bullish is going to give you the rundown of what's going on. And I'm going to break it down very simply and easily to digest and help you understand what the hell is actually going on here so you don't need to worry about it or think about it. Today is one of those days where if you've got market positions, either you're buying or you're not looking at your portfolio. That's the first thing I want to say. Today is not the day to go and look at your portfolio, right? Unless you've got leveraged positions, unless you've got this sort of stuff that you need to manage. Today's the day where you go smoke a cigar, go play around a golf, go do whatever you want to do, because it's going to feel like the whole world is coming to an end, and that's not what's happening here. There's something called, it started off in Japan, what's something called the yen carry trade, which in very, very simple terms works like this. You borrow money in yen and you put it into US assets and you generate returns on the US assets that are higher than the cost of the debt in Japan, and therefore, you know, you make a spread profit. That is unwinding because obviously the Federal Reserve has been hiking rates so high, and then recently Japan announced that they're going to start hiking rates. So there's $20 trillion yen carry trade that's falling apart right now, and of course, as they experience losses on that side or perceived losses or future losses, they need to generate some liquidity. So what are they doing? They're selling their US-based assets in order to do that, or their worldwide assets, in which case they're basically unwinding their positions. On top of that, we have the people in the Middle East are causing a problem again. You've got Iran threatening to basically rain down hell on Israel for assassinating someone inside of Iranian territory. You know, and we've got that issue, very, very serious issue geopolitically playing out. You've also got the fact that the market has now been jolted with the resignation of Biden and the replacement of Kamala Harris. So the market has to reassess what's going on with that. Trump's poll numbers are going down, so they have to reassess what's going on with that. And all of this is happening at the exact same time, right? Then you've got, you know, people coming out and saying, we don't know what's going to happen. You've got the Federal Reserve basically waiting too long to tighten. There's just a brewing shitstorm of things that's going on. Now, saying that, I could count on one hand how many times I've seen a NASDAQ down 5% day, right? So what I think is going to happen is I think by the time you see this video, you're going to be a lot less panicked than you are. So while it feels like the world is falling apart, it's not really. Okay, what's going on here is a broad market sell-off. This is completely expected. We haven't seen a correction in, you know, the U.S. markets for a very, very long time. And so this is completely and utterly expected and normal. The one thing that you should be doing right now is buying, right? If you've got liquidity to put into the market, now is the time to start buying your IBIT, your FBTC, you know, all the mining stocks that you want to buy, et cetera, et cetera. This is that moment before the money printers turn on. Liquidity is about to expand. And that's the one thing that I get frustrated with, because everyone acts like the world is going to end and no one's going to do anything about it. Trust me, all of these problems get filled up with liquidity. Here's what I think is going to happen. Again, I think that Japan is going to reinstate their easy money policies because I think they have to at this point. I think that the US will follow then suit afterwards. And I think if I'm listening to my conspiracy mindset right now, there's nothing really in the economy going on that could drive the Federal Reserve to lower their interest rates and start pumping money into the economy. But this kind of gives them a reason, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in the background this is orchestrated to drive enough rhetoric so that the Federal Reserve can start pumping money into the market when they don't really need to, right? They don't really need to because of the economy. However, asset prices will suffer big time if they don't. So there's always a spread gap between interest rates finally being cut and there being a major stock market, and then there being stimulus. And in that time period, there can be a major stock market correction, which is what we're seeing now. The yield curve has reverted again, or sorry, has uninverted again, and so therefore, you know, we're seeing this dip in the markets. Now, the good news is it's coming quite quick, it's coming quite fast, it's coming quite hard and quite strong. And so what that means is that the Federal Reserve is more inspired to start generating some stimmies. We need some stimmies. The only thing that could help right now is if we start getting some minority group unemployment. That would be great. So whatever group chats you're in, if you could send a text message, say, hey, let's all resign today, that could, you know, whatever flags minor chat groups you're in, just send a message, say, let's all resign today so we can get some stimmies. That's how this works. Now, what I did say is that the gap would be filled. Now, it's been overextended to the downside, which means there's now an upside gap all the way up to 62,000. So I think we're going to see a reversion back to 62,000 quite quickly overall in the price of Bitcoin. But, this is not, you know, a market that you're looking at going, you know, what do I do here? Do I sell my Bitcoin? Do I not sell my Bitcoin? Blah, blah, blah. The one thing I will say is be aware. It's all a circus, right? And we're all different clowns. Anyone who's talking about Bitcoin is a clown. I want you to see it like that. So my version of the clown that I entertain people with is bullish, right? Because I'm bullish, right? And there's other versions of the clown that are bearish. And when you see my contemporaries that are bearish clowns show up on stage, you need to recognize that everyone, and my stance is generally bullish, everyone has their own stance. There's going to be people there who are generally bearish in their heart of hearts for whatever reason, and that's what they're going to project onto you because they're trying to, you know, they're trying to drum up rhetoric in their way. I am bullish. I have been proven right to be bullish my entire life, and nothing anyone can ever tell me could take me to being bearish because I understand how easy money works, right? I understand how the money printer works. So no amount of bearish rhetoric is going to change that for me because I understand how the fucking system works, right? So all these bears don't understand how the system works, and they're little girls as far as I'm concerned because they can't control their emotions on a second-by-second basis. The reality here is this is a great buying opportunity. This may be the last buying opportunity at these levels before this bull market kicks off. And yeah, we're going to have to deal with a month or maybe 2 months of sideways action and grinding up again until this gets bought up. But one thing I will tell you, I will find this interesting to look at this week, is ETF flows. I don't think ETFs are going to be selling right now. I think BlackRock's going to be buying. I think all these people are going to be buying. It'll be very, very telling to see what happens here. And I'll certainly be keeping an eye on that, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. So, look, ultimately, be aware of the bearish clowns, because they're out there, they're all over Twitter. You need to understand, you know, yes, there is value in understanding different things going on in the market, but there's no value in adopting other people's negative emotions. So separate these two things for yourself. Understand the bearish clowns that are out there. Understand the doom and gloom boomers that are out there, understand the happy hippies that are out there, understand all these people, and understand that this is probably an amazing opportunity for you to buy. This, to me, feels like when Bitcoin was 3,500 after COVID, which is when I first started buying, right? That's when I first started buying. That's when it started making sense in that dip to me. So the beautiful thing about Bitcoin is that ultimately, no matter how fucking much the world is burning, there's always only 3 rules. Step number 1, you buy Bitcoin. Step number 2, you shut the fuck up. And step number 3, you get fabulously wealthy.